Marshall in the middle.
Hello?
Bishop Chris Parker, how you doing, man?
Jumpmaster, what's going on?
I had an opportunity. We had, we had talked about talking on the phone and just visiting with each other for a little while, and so I grabbed me a Gatorade and some sunflower seeds, and I'm gonna go get out here on a 4-lane highway and just drive and talk to my buddy for a few minutes.
Cool, man. Thanks for calling. How you been, man?
I'm doing well. I'm enjoying my job, and my kids are doing really good, and my parents are in great health. So I don't know what more I could ask for, unless somebody's going to bless me with some money. That's about the last thing that I think that I could be blessed with. Other than that, it seems like I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing okay. You look like you're doing great.
Yeah, Jumpmaster, we hanging in there, man. We doing all right, man. Nadine and the kids, everybody's doing really good. Man, my daughter just graduated from high school, man, so I'm really excited about that. She's headed off to Winston-Salem State next month, or in August, so yeah, so real excited about that, man.
So your wife is Nadine. Y'all been married for how long now? Remind me of this. Remind me of how the family life fits into the soldier that I know. Remind me of all that, if you don't mind.
Oh man, well, Nadine and I, man, we've been married 24 years now.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Actually, man, yeah, she's from Norfolk. She's actually from Norfolk. We went to high school together, man. So when I came to Bragg in 1990, I brought her up here to Bragg, and Nadine joined the Army, man. She joined the Army in, I think, 95 or 94 or 95, somewhere around there, man.
Oh, wow. So y'all were both in the service and together during that time and married?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, we went to high school together, and, we dated in high school. I left Virginia in 90, man, and she brought her up here about 93, and, and then she joined the Army, man. She always wanted to join the Army, so when I got here to Bragg, she just came up and enlisted.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's such a success story, man. That's awesome. Good job. I didn't understand that about you. I didn't know that side of you. Tell me. We were talking the other day. I was talking with Craig Evans, and I was talking with Maggot, and your name always seems to come up, and you're all intertwined in so many ways between being an air defense guy and then you were a Jumpmaster instructor also, right?
Yes, sir, man. And it's crazy to me, how you say my name is always coming up, man. I just felt, like I was just, another guy in 3rd or 4th 88, man. I came up behind you guys, man. I came up behind y'all, watching y'all and wanting to do what y'all were doing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you, man. There's a group right in front of me. I know. I get it. So I think, so that's one of the things that I would like to explore and to talk about is what did the view look like from where you were at, What was it that were your objectives? But before I do that, this is kind of a thing that I'm trying to theme around heroes I know. And so before we go too much further, let me tell you that, Chris, you're a hero of mine. You've always been a leader, an informal leader, I'll put it that way, that was always providing positive outcomes from those that you
Wow.
influenced, and I enjoyed working with you at every level. I sure did. So,
well, I enjoyed working with you too, man.
so it was cool, man. So let's see. When were you a Jumpmaster instructor? I was there from '93 to '96.
Let me see. I went to Korea in '93. I came back in '94, and I came down to the school late '94. Yeah, I came down to the school late 1994, and I stayed down there until about '96. I think I left shortly after you left.
So were you?
Yeah, '96.
Did you come from battalion, from 3rd to the 4th?
I came from 3rd to the 4th, man. I sure did. As a matter of fact, I came down to the school, man. I came down to the school as a corporal. As a corporal promotable. And, man, I thought about those days, you know. It was crazy. I came down to the school as a corporal, and I remember, you know, man, how it was just a major accomplishment, you know, for me to be a corporal down at the Jumpmaster school, man. I mean, to be a black hat on Fort Bragg was like everything. You know what I'm saying?
So that was something that I just I don't remember that. I guess I was there. I obviously was. You were a corporal wearing a black hat.
Yes, sir.
That's like
man.
way cool, man. That is like celebrity stuff right there. 'Cause
I kind of felt like it too, man.
That really is. That is so awesome. And there's no better way to hone the kinds of things that you do as far as like leading a worship service and what you learned from being a black hat up on the platform.
Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely. You know, man, you said the word, you know, being on that platform. You know, I remember coming through Jumpmaster school, and even before that, man, going through basic airborne school down at Benning and watching those black hats on the platform, how professional they were, you know, how sharp they were, man. I mean, it just grabbed me when I saw those black hats, man, how they conducted themselves, and that was just something that I wanted to do, and the opportunity came up for me to do it at Bragg, and man, that TURD training, you know, TURD trainee undergoing rigorous demands, you know, sitting back there learning all them POIs, man, and you know, keeping your composure on the platform and all of that stuff. So you know, all of that stuff really helped me in what I do now, you know, being on the stage at the church and preaching and teaching, man. So I enjoy it.
What was
Just talked to Top Bennett yesterday, man, for Father's Day.
Man, he is one amazing guy, man. He's somebody that I hope to talk to on here. I hope to do this with him.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah. He shaped me. Dan did. Him and John Bennett. No. Dan
John
Bennett.
Hines.
John Hines.
Yeah. Big John.
Those guys just really taught me a lot. You know, I looked up to them in so many ways.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Top Bennett is working out at Methodist University, man. He and I worked out there. We worked out there at the university for a long time. And I'm telling you, man, even to this day, I still respect Top Bennett, you know, so much, man. Just a great guy.
I totally agree. I totally agree. So let's see. Tell me about tell me some old I don't know, just some of the most intense, you know, days that I'll ever remember, and the pressure that's on you, and and you're maybe doing something that's not really you're the best at, but it seems to me your natural skills, you were really good at that,
Well, I appreciate it. Jumpmaster. But honestly, man, I believe that those days just formed me. Really, I don't think I'm so natural at it, but I think I think back to those days of turret training and standing on the platform and the other instructors critiquing and all of that stuff. So those things still, man, come into play. In what I do now, and really how I conduct myself when I'm preaching or teaching,
So tell me about your flock. Tell me about the folks that look to you for spiritual guidance. Abundant.
Man, I had the best church.
Tell me about it.
Abundant Life Ministries, man. 504 West 6th Avenue, Rayford, North Carolina, and I know that's right. Hey, man, I got the best church. I got the best people, man, on the planet. I pastor some great people, man. I started the church. I started the church probably, let me see, this is my 12th year. I'm going into my 12th year at the church. I started the church 12 years ago, and oh, man, it was a long, hard road, man. I started in my living room with my wife and kids, just the 6 of us. We started the church in our living room, and we just started having Bible study in the house, and we started inviting people, and the Bible study just grew and outgrew my living room, so we had to move somewhere else. So we moved into a 3-bedroom house, and we renovated that house, man, gutted it out, and turned that into our church, man. And we started working there and inviting people. We outgrew that place, and then we moved to Rayford, man. We actually bought a church out in Rayford, and the congregation has just grown, man. It's over 125 members now. So the church is just, I'm telling you, I enjoy it, man. I really enjoy it.
That is amazing. Congratulations. It's an honor to see someone that I know, doing positive in your community. You provide a service that is so valuable to so many people there, and my sincere thanks to you for choosing a service to earn at least part of your living. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So share with me a time in your life maybe that in the service you were scared, or there was some time of a trial that you might have gone through. Is there a time like that you could share with me?
Sure, man, absolutely. I remember when I was leaving 3rd to 4th, so I left the school because I had to go back to 3rd to 4th so that I could get ready to go to 1 officer school. So when I left the school and I went back down Ardennes, I was doing PT, and then I was just tired all the time, and I was just extremely tired, man. I failing my PT test. I couldn't run the 2 miles and all of that stuff. So, Saw Major Patterson at the time, man. He was like, Parker, what's going on with you, man? You done been down there at the school. You ain't been doing no PT, and now, you're having a hard time passing your PT test. And I remember, man, Saw Major Patterson would actually go out on Ardennes and run with me to help me, to try to help me pass my PT test and all of that stuff. So I finally passed my PT test, went to 1 officer school down in Fort Rucker, man, and got down there, finished 1 officer school, all of that stuff, and got that. I thought I was having a heat stroke, man, and I went to the TMC, and come to find out, they diagnosed me that day with chronic myelogenous leukemia, man.
Oh,
so,
wow.
It was It was bad too, bro. It was bad, man.
So tell me what those big words mean. I'm sorry that leukemia I know is bad. Tell me more. Tell me what that means to me.
Yeah, well, the chronic myelogenous leukemia, man, is basically my Philadelphia chromosomes kind of switch places genetically, man, and my white blood cell count was just like extremely high. So instead of my white blood cells fighting off, infections and viruses and all of that kind of stuff, my white blood cells became, like they were fighting against my body instead of fighting for my body, man. And, I had no immune system to fight off, any type of infections or nothing like that, man. My blood wouldn't clot, none of that. So it was pretty bad, bro.
So here you are at the end of Warrant Officer School, still down at Rucker?
Mm-hmm.
And how did you find this out? I mean, you're walking down tell me, did you end up in the hospital somehow?
Yeah, I did, man. Down at Rucker, when I went to Warrant Officer School, your flight buddies, they could peer you out of the course, right?
Okay.
And one of my flight buddies, man, he was like, Parker, something's wrong with you. You've been sick for the last few days. And actually, I had been sick before I got to Rucker. That's why I couldn't pass my PT test, man, because chronic fatigue, is a major side effect or whatever of the leukemia. So right. I was down there, man, and he was like, look, man, if you don't go to the TMC to get checked out, I'm going to go talk to the techs, and I'm going to peer you out of the course today. And honestly, man, to this day, I'm grateful to him that he said that, because if he hadn't, I wouldn't have went to the TMC. So I went to the TMC, and the flight surgeon asked me, man, he was like, Parker, what did you do to your flight physical to get down here to Rucker? Because, man, there's no way that you could have passed a flight physical to get down here to flight school. And I told him, I said, sir, I didn't do anything to my flight physical. And he told me that day, man, you have chronic myelogenous leukemia, and, my prognosis is really, you asked, something that scared me. The prognosis is really what scared me, man. They, told me I had less than 24 hours to live, man.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they told me I had less than 24 hours to live. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, it was pretty rough, man. It was pretty rough for a while, Nadine, and at the time, we had our oldest son, Chris. Nadine and Chris, the doctors called up here to brag and told Nadine, she needed to get down there to Rucker. As a matter of fact, I wasn't at Rucker because they medevaced me from Rucker up to Fort Gordon, Georgia. So Nadine and my son came up to Fort Gordon, man, and stayed there with me until they, got the situation under control and sent me back here to brag.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so they were able to get your blood to calm down once they started treating you, basically.
Yeah, they started, giving me, some chemotherapy and all of that stuff, man. They started giving me chemo, and, and I got to be honest with you, man. Really, that was the night that I really accepted my call to preach, the gospel and to do what the Lord wanted me to do, because I felt like I was at a crossroads, either I answer him and be committed to what I knew he wanted me to do, or that was the night I was going to die. And, man, I accepted it that night. And, man, there got to be a God somewhere, because, the doctors really had given up on me, man. They had put me on morphine and all of that stuff, and told me they just wanted me to pass away comfortably, man. And I accepted the call that night and told the Lord, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. And 17 years later, I'm still here.
Well, amen to that. Amen to that.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah,
a great story. That is amazing, Chris. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, man.
That's
Yes, sir.
extremely man. That's got to be tough. Hey, you've got 24 hours to live. What do you do with that? How does that go? I guess it at least in your life it became a time to answer a call.
Yeah,
That you
yeah,
felt.
absolutely, man. Well, I remember times, we used to go down to Fort Bliss all the time, 88. We used to go down to Fort Bliss,
Yeah.
El Paso, Texas. And I remember, man, being down there with all of our friends, man, son Grace. You remember Grace?
Yeah, I love Grace.
Yeah. Yeah, man, me and Grace and Florence and Mediano, all of us, man, used to, just go out, have a good time. But it was crazy, man, because I always knew what I was supposed to be doing, but, I tried to just be as bad as I could, man, hoping the call would go away. And I remember one night, all of us out drinking, man, and we all out just having a good time and drinking and singing oldies but goodies, man. We were singing Temptations and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I busted out Will and started singing a gospel song, man. Them guys were like, Parker, what you doing, man?
Oh, that's
so I
great.
guess, yeah, man.
I watch your services online every once in a while. Every once in a while, I'll catch you on live, and I'll watch you for a minute or two. I enjoy
Thank you, man.
I enjoy what you do, and you definitely put forth some positive ministry, and it looks like you guys have a good time, and what's your calling in that area? Tell me what you would like to see happen with your ministries in the future.
Well, well, that's a good question, man. The name of my church is Abundant Life, and man, I believe, that I minister to a lot of underprivileged people, people who don't have a lot of resources, people who, to say it plainly, man, are living in poverty, people who may not have a lot of education and all of that stuff, not a lot of social standing and all of that. But, my calling, man, is to preach life to them, preach possibility to them, preach hope to them, and let them know that where they are is not where they have to stay, man. That there's more to life than what they've experienced.
It's got to be a tough job sometimes. I'm sure that I'm sure that you feel tested a time or two with your ministries. But Thank you very much for what you do. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, sir. Man, I heard your interview with Sergeant Major Adams, man. Wow, Sergeant Major Adams. When I heard that interview, it was so good, man, to hear his voice. He and I talk on Facebook from time to time. He posts things on my Facebook page, man. But to hear his voice, it was powerful, man. To hear his voice and to hear Maggot, man. I talked to Maggot some time ago, and I knew Maggot was sick, but it's good to see that he's doing good too.
A lot of this came out of Maggot not feeling so well and realizing that if I didn't get some of those stories, if we didn't tell some of these stories, that they might not get told, because I got buddies my age that are killing over left and right, man. I mean, we're not going to be on this earth that long, and I sure as heck ain't written most of this stuff down. I'd be ashamed to, you know.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you doing it. Hearing all the guys that we were in third or fourth with. I heard the interview with a friend. Man, it was just good to hear those guys and to see that everybody's doing all right.
I know, it's great. It was fun to be able to talk about friend and I. We were entangled, and we were both young, man. I didn't know what was going on. He didn't either, but we figured it out, and we always had that bond, he and I, that we could always look at each other's eyes and go, man, we survived one. We survived one,
right.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
So
man,
back
I thought
in
about how scary that had to be.
Oh yeah. So back in the 90s, in the 82nd Airborne Division, in 3rd of the 4th, that was like golden age of
Yes, sir.
Stinger missile jump pack. We were
Yes.
We were the Jumpmasters on call at any time for the 82nd Airborne Division. If there was anything going on, and anybody was jumping out of an airplane, there was safeties involved from 3rd of the 4th somehow.
Yes.
We had multiple Jumpmasters of the Year. We had a good presence down at the Advanced Airborne School with black hats. We had guys...
So... Did Maggot go to the school where you were the first one to go?
No.
What was it? You then Maggot?
So there was a guy before Maggot from 3rd of the 4th. I think his name was Rose, but I'm not so sure. I need to ask Maggot. But before Maggot, there was a guy. He was a black sergeant, and then Maggot took his place. And then in May of 93, Maggot got called away to go to Fort, I think it was Leavenworth, Kansas, with a bunch of guys. No, a bunch of guys went to another new duty station. They were opening up a battalion, and Maggot was one of those guys. So I went down there in May of 93 and was there until May of 96. Yeah.
Okay.
May of 96.
Okay. And then I came down after you came down.
Yeah. So you came. So McLeod replaced me, but you were the AMO. You came to AMO school.
Right.
Yeah. And then,
down there with Ray Gates and Miller.
Oh my gosh, Ray Gates.
Yeah.
Ray Gates.
Yeah, Ray
I remember
Gates and Flash. Yeah. Mhm.
Oh man. So who? What else? So turd training and they've got a nice new Dirty Herc down there. They got a really nice mock-up now.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Man,
mock-up.
the schools still look real good, man. They tore the old AMOs down. They kind of just redid the whole Pope, man. It's Pope Army Airfield now, because they moved the AMC away from Bragg, so now it's Pope Army Airfield, and they redid all of it, man. So the AMO got a new school down there. All of that stuff is brand new down there.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So after you went to Warrant and you got diagnosed with leukemia, what happened? Did you continue in the Army? Tell me more about what happened there.
Man, after I got diagnosed, they sent me back I stayed down at Fort Gordon a couple months. I was down there in the hospital for a couple months, and after they sent me back from Gordon, they sent me back here to Bragg, and they put me on TDRL, and I stayed on TDRL like 5 years, man. And after they, retired me, they retired me here at Bragg, and I just stayed here at Bragg. So, That's how that happened, man.
So they medically retired you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Medically retired me.
And so how's
Yeah.
the recovery from the leukemia? Is it cured? Is it in recession or remission or what? Tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, man, it's in remission, man. Thank God for that. It's in remission. You know, I still, have to go and see my oncologist once a month. I go and see him once a month, and I still take the medication every day. I take it, to keep the leukemia at bay. But I'm good. Man, I feel better now probably than I felt when I was younger, man.
So what do you ascribe that to now? Are you taking care of yourself better, or? By the way, I just want to tell you while I'm thinking about it. Some of your pictures, man. You look sharp, man. Really sharp. Really sharp, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Will, man, y'all couldn't see that when we were in the Army because we was always in BDUs, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So look, even on the weekend when we got out of BDUs, man, we had on probably some shorts and those brown T-shirts, man. So it wasn't until after I got out of the Army, man, that I started wanting to put on some clothes.
Oh my gosh! Well, you look like $1 million, man. You really look sharp. You really have a. I watched you. You were live on your Facebook the other night. I saw you were like the center panelist in like a call-in show, and
oh man, yeah.
so I listened to a little bit of that. I didn't get to hear you talking at all, but maybe I missed it. But
yeah.
But I thought that was neat that you're active in your community in that way,
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you got a chance to watch that. That was on the TCT network, man, and I'm really happy about that because the TCT network is it's a national platform. So I'm getting some national opportunities now, man, throughout the country through that television broadcast, man.
Really, that's very, very interesting. Is there room for you to do some traveling or ways to get out and about? Is that something you're interested in doing?
Oh yeah, that happens a lot, man. That happens a lot, and through the TCT network, like I said, that goes out across the country, so people watch that broadcast and they're able, to see and see what we do and invite us to come out to their church or whatever they have in conferences, revivals, or whatever the case may be. And then we're on the CW22, which is more like a local channel, man, that's broadcasted throughout North Carolina and Virginia, some parts of Georgia and South Carolina.
That's cool. That's cool. So you enjoy doing those types of things?
Yeah, and I love it. I love it. I really do. Yeah.
So one of the questions I've been asking the guys. So, who would you like to call Cadence with?
Who would I like to call Cadence with?
Yeah, you know how sometimes you're out there running, man, and I always loved Frank Robinson. He was always what I consider to be the gold standard, and Sergeant Major Bradley. I talked to Sergeant Major Bradley the other day. He was one of my forever best cadence callers ever.
Okay, let me see. You remember Sergeant First Class Webster?
Webster, yes, I remember Webster. Yes.
Webster could call some cadence, man.
Yes. So he
would run the whole way and call cadence.
Oh man, that's great, right? Webster.
Oh, hey, let me tell you, Plotnick. Do you remember Plotnick?
Yeah. So Plotnick just took over like the German Air Defense Brigade or something.
Yeah, man, man, I'm telling you, crazy. Plotnik, he's a sergeant major. It's crazy because all the guys, man, that I was a E3, E4, E5, all of us grew up together. Now these guys, man, are sergeant majors, CW5s, retiring, and all of that stuff, man. I'm like, that's crazy, man.
Hey, you know, if you'd have been still doing it, that's right where you'd have been, man. That's right where you'd have been.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man.
And
yeah, I miss the 82nd, man. I miss the 82nd, man. Just hanging out with them guys, being with them guys. You know, God, I loved it, man. Spending time. That's all the time we spent in the field and going to JRTC and out the White Sands Missile Range. Man, we just spent so much time together, man. It was. I miss those days, man. I miss the guys.
it was definitely good times, you know. Definitely good times. There was great people that we got to work with, and you know, we saw some fun. Were you at let's see, were you at Cattleman's the year we got kicked out and broke the tables and stuff?
Oh.
Were you there when?
In Texas?
Yeah, it was out in Texas. Were you there that year at Cattleman's?
Yes.
That was.
Yes.
I think that was
90.
I
remember that. I remember that.
I think that was 92. I think.
I remember, man. I remember. I cannot remember his name, man. But there was. I forget whether he was a first sergeant first class. We were down in Texas and he got in a car accident. You remember his name?
Smitty?
I don't remember his name, man, but I remember we were down there in Texas and all of us got into a fight with the Marines. We were down there in the club or whatever you want to call it, and we all got into a fight with the Marines. And I remember the next day he called a battalion formation, man, and he fussed all of us out. And he was like, y'all down there fighting, but as long as y'all won, you know, that's all he was worried about. As long as we beat up the Marines, man, he was good to go. I was like, all right, man, cool.
So the guy you're talking about, you're trying to remember because he got hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt in a car accident.
I know. I can't think of his name either. I know he was like a first sergeant of Alpha Battery or something.
Yes. And you remember he had the halo on after he got in the car accident.
Yeah. Gosh, what's his name? I'll never remember it. I'm awful. I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old.
Yeah, you too. Me too, man. Me too. Yeah.
So you got a daughter going off to college?
Yeah, man. I have a daughter going to college, and real proud of her, man. She's done really good, man. She want to go to school to become a pediatric doctor, so I'm trying to help her get there, man, so she can pay her daddy back.
Hey, there you go. You got to hand it out so you can receive it later, you know. One of those things.
Exactly.
One of those things. Oh my gosh. So, go ahead.
Hey, Will, do you remember, man, being in the 3rd or 4th, and Sergeant Major Adams used to make all the NCOs walk around with hip pocket training?
Yeah.
Do you remember the hip pocket training, man?
I remember hip pocket training.
I was listening to the interview, and I was thinking about those days, man, where a sergeant major would always walk up to you, come here, airborne, let me see your hip pocket training. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I mean, anything they could do to get us to be efficient at something, man, because otherwise we'd stand around with our hands in our pockets, man, you know. Hey, what the heck?
Right.
What the heck?
Anytime you were standing with soldiers longer than 5 minutes, you had to be doing some hip pocket training.
That's right. You had to have your little cards, and you had to be ready to go. But it helped us, you know. It was good. It was good stuff. It was good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, hip pocket training, man. Hey, I bet you got a couple hip pocket trainings you can pull out anytime you need. I bet you instituted that in some kind of way, Chris.
Hey, man, I got them saved up, brother. I got them saved up. I'm ready to go anytime.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Oh man. So let's see. Who else? Who? Remind me of a battery commander or a story about the officers you might know in battalion.
First Sergeant Segredo.
Oh,
You remember
Segredo?
Segredo?
Yeah. So
Man,
I never worked directly for Segredo. I never worked for him. But
good for you.
Oh my gosh. So tell me about First Sergeant Segredo.
Man, Segredo, Segredo was just like he was the rawest first sergeant I ever met in the Army, man. He was just, man, Segredo would just cuss you out just for looking at him, man. He didn't care. And I remember, what was his name? Porty. Do you remember Porty?
Yeah. I remember Porty very well. Very well.
I remember Porty and his wife, man, had got into some stuff or something like that, and Porty had to move in the barracks. And Segredo wouldn't let him move in the barracks, man. Made him sleep in his car in the parking lot.
Oh, that is so funny. So, oh my gosh. So it's funny that you bring up Porty. Porty, God bless him, was my example that anybody could make sergeant. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. If Porty could make sergeant, anybody could make sergeant.
Hey, anybody could do it. Porty was something else. Man, Segredo hated Porty, man.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, my gosh.
And,
So you
I
were...
remember, man, look.
Go ahead.
Let me see. Segredo, and then Segredo was our first sergeant, and Bailey. You remember Sergeant First Class Bailey?
Yeah.
Bailey was our platoon sergeant, man, and I remember we used to have to clean the barracks every morning before PT. And if the barracks wasn't clean right, Bailey would back the time up that we would have to be at the barracks. So if the barracks wasn't cleaned up, man, I remember we had to be at the barracks at 4:30 in the morning because we just couldn't get it right. And Bailey was like, y'all asses will be here 30 minutes early tomorrow. And I was like, man, look, we got to get these barracks straight, man, or we're going to have to spend the night here.
Oh, my gosh. Great times, right?
Man, crazy times, man. You know, I remember Will one weekend, Specialist Williams. I don't know if you remember Specialist Williams. We were at the barracks, and Will got drunk, man, and jumped out the second floor window of the barracks. That's crazy, man. 82nd, boy. There's no place in the world like 82nd, man.
So it's a different breed of human being, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Hard charging, man. Hard charging, don't quit.
It's a different kind of person that volunteers to be in the 82nd Airborne Division. I actually heard it said one time that the men in the 82nd Airborne Division are the kind of men that would agree to sail with Christopher Columbus.
Oh, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, I've heard people say that the 82nd is an army of its own.
There's a lot to be said for that, yeah.
Yeah, guys come from other places, other posts, man, and they come to the 82nd, and they like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like this. There's too much, you know. But, hey, when you grow up there, that's all you know. So, it's cool.
It's interesting to go back now and for the battalion not to be in the 82nd. They're stuck way off all by themselves. They're not included.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of places where you're going to find the air defense stuff. So.
Yeah. They moved out. I forgot the name of the street out there, but yeah, they way out there, down by like going to Mott Lake now.
Yeah, down where the old ASP was.
Yes, there you go, right down there by the ASP. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's on your guys' horizon? What kind of new things y'all got going on? Any more TV shows or ministries or where are you guys spending your time and energy lately?
Well, man, we don't have any more TV shows. I think our plate is kind of full with, what we have going on. Today we just started our summer camp, man. We run a summer camp every summer for the kids that live in Rayford, man. Kids that receive free and reduced lunch during the school year. We provide the summer camp, so we feed them breakfast and lunch. So, kind of got the news that a lot of these kids that get free and reduced lunch during school, during summer, their mom and dad going to work, or, so these kids may not have the opportunity to eat, the way they did when they were in school. So, we provide them, man, with breakfast and lunch, man, during the summer camp. And today was the first day, so we got about 6-7 weeks left, man.
Oh,
so
wow.
Our hands going to be real full with that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So 5 days a week you're doing breakfast and lunch, and y'all doing some kind of program in between?
Yeah, man, it's a summer enrichment camp, where we do, reading enrichment, math enrichment, music arts and crafts, we do all of that stuff. And of course, we give them like some type of Bible study or something like that throughout the day. So camp is from 9 to 2 o'clock every day, man. So we started out today, we had about 50 kids, but we're expecting at least about 25 more kids tomorrow, man.
Oh, wow, and it'll build. Once the word gets out, it'll build.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, congratulations, man. That's aggressive right there now. That's, woo, taking in a bunch of kids and feeding them. Oh, my. Oh, wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Woo-wee. I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Man, we have a great staff, man. We have a great staff, man. We have some certified teachers from the whole county school system who come over and volunteer. So these kids are, interacting with their teachers during the summer for the summer camp. And, we got college students, high school students who need community service hours. So they come over and volunteer at the camp, and then we give them community service hours because the high school students need CAS hours to graduate from high school. So they receive 180 hours of community service hours by volunteering. And then the college students, of course, they need community service. So we have a great staff of people at the church, man, to come over and run the summer camp.
Well, sign me up. It sounds to me like that's where I want to be. I like that.
Come on over, man. Come on over. Come on over.
Oh, man. I can sign up for some ginger cookies. It sounds good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on over, man.
Oh, man. So it's been great chatting with you, man. I've enjoyed it a lot. I hadn't thought about Segredo in a while, man. That's great to hear his name and think about those times, man.
Yeah.
What unit were you with when you were talking about Segredo? Tell me about that. I'm just trying to put me in there somewhere. Those names are really familiar.
Segredo.
Were you in Bravo back?
He was Delta Battery's first sergeant. You remember Cook?
Yeah, yeah.
Cook was a platoon sergeant over there. Webster was a platoon sergeant. Wagner, you remember Wagner?
Yeah, Roosevelt Wagner?
Yep, Roosevelt Wagner. He was over there. Let me see, who else was over there? Bailey. All them guys. They were platoon sergeants under Segredo, man.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Oh wow, that's great. Great times, man. Great times. You remember Burnley?
Yeah.
Remember Burnley?
Man, me and Stephen Burnley, man, were best friends, man.
So you know,
How's Burnley doing?
Burnley's doing great, man. I'm waiting to talk to him. I'm gonna sign him up to talk to him on one of these. He's just getting back from Germany, man. He's been a sergeant major over there with NATO.
Wow, man, Burnley, man, that is a sharp. He has always been sharp, man. Since we were like young privates, Burnley, man, has just fast tracked. I mean, that guy is sharp, man.
I've been a huge fan of Burnley, man. He and I reshaped the officer basic course together. We enjoyed our time as OCs together. We really had a wonderful run there together for a while.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Stephen Burnley. Huge fan.
Yeah, man. I love that guy, man. Yeah. Love that guy. Burnley is a good guy, man. Oh, let me tell you. What about, man, David Hankins? You remember Hank?
Yeah, I love Hank, man. So Hankins tried like 3 times to come down and get his slip to pass his Jumpmaster pretest.
Mm-hmm.
And he never could get through it. I graded him every time, like 3 times in a row. I ended up with his slip. And
wow.
And it, you know, like he just messed up his stuff. He messed up his, and so next thing you know, he comes back. He's a student. He passes, and then next thing you know, he's like there for turd training, you know, to try out for his 15-minute class.
Yeah.
And I'm the deputy committee chief at that time. And,
oh boy.
So old Hank, man. So I love Hankins, man. I love me some Hankins, man. He is great, man.
Man, let me tell you, man. A lot of people don't know that. First of all, Hank was a cook, man.
Yeah.
Hankins was a cook, one of the sharpest cooks, man. I mean, that guy was sharp, man. Uniform, always squared away. I mean, just full of knowledge, man, just disciplined, that guy. I mean, he was in shape. Hank was. But here's the thing, man. When I first came in the Army, I was a cook, and Hankins was one of my first supervisors when I first came to Bragg, man.
Really? No way.
Hank, yes, man. Hankins was an E5. He was an E5. I had just got promoted to E6, man, and he was one of my first supervisors. I'm going to tell you, man, David Hankins, man, you want to talk about a hero? David Hankins, man, he's a hero, man. That guy is, David Hankins is, man, I'm telling you, that guy saved my career, man. He saved my career.
Really?
Yeah, David Hankins saved my career, man.
I would love to hear that. I'd love to hear that story. I'd love to hear that story.
Yeah.
He's
man.
Hankin, he was go get 'em, man. He was go get 'em, and he was always passionate, and he was right. You know, he was right.
Always by the book, man.
Yeah.
By the book.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he knew what he was talking about. Man. He had done his research.
He did. He was sharp. Yeah, he was sharp, man. I mean, that guy knew his stuff, man.
So,
wow. Man,
So let me ask you a couple of questions real quick. This one's kind of off the wall, but I used to carry a
Okay.
I used to carry a
Okay.
I used to carry a 3x5 card around in my pocket. You know, I have all of my to-dos on it. You know, all my little, you know what I'm talking about. So kind of like some people carry the notepad, like a green notepad, and they write all their stuff down. I did 3x5 cards.
Right.
If you could give me a personal note of inspiration to go on the top of my 3x5 cards, what might it be?
Don't ever, man, I would tell you, don't ever quit on what you believe, man. Always, always go forward. Walk by faith and not by sight, man. Don't walk by what you see. Walk by what you believe.
Amen. Well, thanks for sharing that with me. I appreciate that. There's a lot to be said for, you know, what we're seeing around us and what we believe to be true, and a lot of crazy things going on. I have definitely personally come to a grips with my faith that's different than what it used to be. And there's a lot of struggles out there in the world, you know.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's good. You know, I tell you, Will. I think, man. You know, without my faith, I promise you, man. Without my faith, I just believe that I would have been dead and gone already, man. So I'm big on faith, man.
Well, I think that's awesome. You have a very compelling story. You know, it's really interesting. Billy Graham tells a story of a similar come to a meeting where it's you know, where he decides that he's going to believe, you know, that's just it, and he's just going to believe. And that was a very telling moment for him. So thanks for sharing, you know, your story with me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, man. Thank you, you know, for what you're doing. I tell you, you know, your interviews are being heard, and, you know, they're encouraging a lot of guys. I know they encourage me. It's crazy because a couple weeks ago, maybe last week or so, I was riding down the road, man. I was riding down the road, and it came up on Facebook to like your, what is it, Will in the Middle? Is that it?
Marshall in the Middle.
Marshall in the Middle, Marshall in the Middle. And it came up on my Facebook page to like your page, man. So I liked it, and then when I liked it, it kind of opened up, man, and I started listening to the interview with Sergeant Major Adams, man, the Bear. And, man, that thing just took me back to 3rd or 4th, just thinking about all them days back there, man. And then after I started listening, I'm listening to Maggot, and then from Maggot it went to Friend, and I'm listening to all these interviews, and then here you come and inbox me, man. I was like, oh my God, he's calling me to ask me to do an interview when, man, I was behind you guys. I was behind y'all, man, wanting to do what y'all were doing.
Oh my gosh. Well then you're somebody that I have always looked up to. You know, I always thought you were a superstar, and really enjoyed working with you. You know, it's guys like you that makes it easy to be looked up to. You know, if I didn't know you were looking up to me, I'm just doing my job. You know, but it was. You're a star, man. You are a star now. You're a wonderful person. You chose to be a leader and a giver, and it just proves time and time again that you know what you give will come back to you. You know, and it's obvious to me that you're really been doing a lot of giving, and I'm very proud of you and very proud to know you. So thanks so much for talking to me and telling a few stories. You know, it's fun to reminisce and to kind of talk about old times, you know.
Yeah, it is, man. And I just, man, thank you, man. All the guys. I never really had a chance, man, to really say, thank you to, Sergeant Major Adams and Patterson and you and Webster, Wagner, all them guys, man. Singletary, man, I just, thank you guys, man, for just leading the way. Y'all guys were some great role models, man, for me to follow. So I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, man. Well, good talking to you. Thanks, Bishop Chris Parker, for spending a few moments with me. I appreciate it, Jumpmaster, and we'll talk some more soon. Okay.
All right, man. We'll talk to you soon, Jumpmaster.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All right.
Marshall in the middle.